Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for men and women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be spoken upon, such as relationships, health and wellness, personal development, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lady K Chat podcast. You are with your favorite host, Lady K, and I am so excited to be with you today. Today's episode is called The Art of Resilence. Now, let me tell you something about this young lady. She is so special, and she don't even know. We're in this group together. It's a health group, and she posts all the time. And when I see her post, one thing that screamed out to me is discipline. Listen, I'm the one that I like to eat right, and I'll walk here and there. But looking at her, I said, man, I gotta get my stuff together. And not on that, she has an amazing testimony that I just had to bring her on so she can share. So everyone, please help me welcome Miss Mya Allen. How are you, Mya?
Hello, Kalima. Thank you again for having me. I appreciate you and this opportunity. I really hope that I can bless, you and your followers. Just thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
You are welcome. No, I know you're going to bless them because you blessed me. So Mya, I had to let them know, your story. Share us your story on what drove you to get into your journey of bodybuilding.
The short of the long is I am married. This is my second marriage. My first husband basically called me fat. And I think I had mentioned to you before, I thought it was like a PHAT, like I was cute, right. I was thick with it. No, that was not the kind of fat he was talking about. So I went ahead and joined the local gym, the rec center. I joined a couple classes, and my trainer at the time, he kind of planted a seed. He basically was like, why don't you, model bikinis? And I looked at him like, is you being a pervert? I didn't know where he was coming with this, but I didn't know anything about, competition and bodybuilding. I knew nothing about that. And I was basically like, sir, I done had 2 kids. Right. You don't know what's going on underneath these clothes. That's not an option for me, but thank you. But little does he know, he planted a seed to start my journey of eating healthy and just getting my body in a different state, better than what I was then. It really, when I think back, my ex-husband blessed me,
right,
by calling me out, because we have an option. We can either take a negative comment as a negative or spin it for our good. I didn't know it at the time, but he was blessing me. I chose at one point during my journey to spin that negativity into a positive. Fast forward, I secretly just became obsessed with the fitness industry. I've been through a couple of more trainers since my last trainer. I'm now with my trainer, Anthony, who is a master bodybuilder trainer. And he trains my body and gets it prepared to go on stage in front of many, many people to be judged. I would never think I would be that girl, but I am that girl, and it is a blessing. My first competition, I placed 3rd place. I was not happy with that. But yet still again, I learned so much. I learned the art of discipline. I'm still learning the art of discipline. And how food makes a difference. So while everybody's out there having a margarita for Cinco de Mayo and they're eating a pizza, I'm sitting here eating lettuce and 98% fat-free turkey. Right. But it's all about cultivating that mind, body, and spirit. I'm understanding now how this is a spiritual journey.
Right.
And I'm excited because my plan and my prayer is that I hit this extra hard extra hard. This journey is not for me. It's not for me, although the human part of me wants a pro card. That's all fine, well, and good. But this journey is so I can teach and help people, serve people.
Right.
It really, it's hard to explain.
No, I get it.
Do you get it?
I
Because this life is not about us.
Let me tell you something. As you was talking, I did not want to interrupt you because you know your story is amazing. You say so many key things, but one thing that dawned on me when you said about your ex-husband, he don't even realize he planted the seed. And I love that admiration about you. Instead of you whining and say, well, you know, he called me fat. You know, you put that little girl to the side and you put your big girl panties on and say, well, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? And even though he's no longer in your life, he was there for a short reason, because a lot of people tend to forget sometimes, you know, when they hear the word do death do you part, sometimes, well, majority of the time, people think that is physical death, but people don't realize it's spiritual death. There is an expiration date on spiritual death. And when it comes, it's time for you to separate because you went into your new chapter. So that is very resilient, Miss Mya. And I love it. And I love the fact too that you stay disciplined. Oh my gosh. Girl, I'm not going to lie. I'm great with the eating, but I know I need more discipline in my exercise life. But I'm getting there because I do my little walks. I'm not all the way there, but I'm getting there. But I am losing the weight just by eating right. Yeah.
Well, see, it's one step at a time.
Absolutely.
Your goal may not be to step on stage in front of hundreds of people being judged. That may not be your goal.
And it's not.
And I know a lot of people look at me and they say, oh, I want abs like yours, or I want arms like yours. And people don't even understand the journey and what it takes to get there. And I always tell people, I remember the other week I went to Belk's. I shouldn't have been in there. I was looking for some more lip gloss. That's a whole nother podcast conversation. I have secret obsessions because I can't eat pizza. I'm just saying. But this girl was like, oh, are you a trainer? I want you to train me. And I say, you know, because we look at the physical, we don't understand what a person has to go through to get there.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about resilience, we are all fighting a battle every single day. Let's not even talk about bodybuilding.
Right.
Let's start with our issues that we're dealing with, the small little things that we're dealing with. How are you attacking those issues? Because resiliency, we all have to face and overcome, go through and overcome. It's not an option. Absolutely. Right now, I am connecting grief with exercise. Grief, because we're all grieving in some kind of way.
Right.
And in some kind of way, we're allowing grief to stop us from being resilient, from overcoming. We're stuck. So what I'm doing is I'm marrying together your grief with the art of exercising, because I am a personal trainer. So we're going to put those two together to get people moving through the journey of grief, being resilient, learning how to have that discipline. Because what do we do when we're sad or emotional? We go right to that refrigerator and we put a Dorito in our mouth. We put a hot dog in our mouth. And you know what? It's really nothing wrong with that. But when we overeat, we overindulge, and we find ourselves 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight.
Right.
We have to take a step back and say, why am I eating this way? What is going on? Because again, we are all grieving in some kind of way. I know I've mentioned to you before, December 9th of 2019, before COVID hit, my mother just up and died. There was nothing wrong with her. And I too, like many people, fell into a very dark, dark depression.
Wow.
So dark that suicide was an option for me because I had no hope. there was no resilience. There was no nothing. I was still going to the gym and pumping weight and lifting and squatting and doing all that good stuff. But I was so stuck. Even months after her death, I was so stuck. My weight went all the way down where it was very unhealthy. Again, stuck. There was no resiliency. So I thank God, because the person you see before you on camera today been through some stuff.
Right.
And I'm just here to share the message of the good news that you don't have to be stuck. Be it a divorce, been there, done that one. Death, been there, done that one. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Any type of grief or sadness, we need to be addressing those things before we talk about how do you become resilient. It sounds good, but there's a process.
Absolutely.
And it's a very gentle, personal, sacred process. And something I'm going to be talking about on my Instagram today is running away from grief. Running, because we don't like pain. We don't like pain. But how is muscle built? How do you grow your muscle? By breaking those individual fibers. They must be broken so they can be rebuilt.
A lot of people do not understand like the work that, comes behind it, but also too, you were talking about the process. And it made me think about a couple of weeks ago, I did talk about an episode on my podcast. And I said, a lot of the times we don't trust the process. We're so busy trying to heavy up and rush ourselves to do certain things and put ourselves on a time limit. And sometimes you can't, because I made a notion about 20 years ago, my mother came in a household and said she a vegan. She just changed everything. We're like, whoa, like what is this? So when she started introducing some foods, I'm like, I can get with some, I can't get with that. Maybe I'll come back to that one, but 20 years later going forward, I am now a pescatarian, which means I do plant-based and I eat fish. And I thought for a long time, I can't give up lamb. I love lamb. Let me tell you something. Cheese, I love cheese, eggs, but I found substitutes. However, sometimes when people first dive into the food, they're like, this don't taste what I thought. You have to retrain your taste buds. So you said some key stuff too about the discipline. One thing that I did for myself about 13, 14 years ago, I stopped putting honey and sugar in my tea. So you see, I started small. And still to this day, I don't do it. Now, when it comes to my coffee, I'll put like almond milk because that's good enough because it has a tad of sweetness to it. And that's it. I train myself. And I'm still going through the process. But like you said, Mya, yes, absolutely trust the process.
And it's your timing.
Absolutely.
It can't. Now, some people, like I have a cousin that's very close to me. She was able to, she went from being a smoker to just going cold turkey and stopping.
Wow.
Some people just can't do that. It's
right.
a process.
Right.
And there needs to be people available to help guide these people through the process. I too went vegan for a whole entire year. I could not maintain it because my muscle mass would not maintain. I couldn't build the muscle fast enough. So my trainer was like, no, we got to put you back on fish and chicken. Okay, fine. I enjoyed the plant-based lifestyle. I absolutely loved it. But again, as humans, we don't like change.
Right.
We don't like change. Woo. We like things to be, if I know for me, if I put this remote control right here, that's where I want it to be tomorrow. But let my husband come in here and move it. I'm like, what? I'm freaking out. But we have to help one another and uplift one another and help each other be a little bit more pliable and, workable and flexible. And that is the reason why I love working out, because it teaches me about life. It teaches me more about my Christian walk with Christ. It works together. And we just have to be patient with people. And we have to be also patient with ourselves, especially our bodies. We look at these bodybuilders and we say, I want a body like that. Once again, it doesn't happen overnight. Right. It just doesn't. It takes time. And you're going to have to give yourself grace through the process. And I'm just thankful that I'm in a position where I can help people. It's all about having a servant's attitude. I'm not on stage to get all the accolades. I'm on stage and I'm doing different things and furthering my education and doing different things in the community so I can honestly, organically, genuinely give back to the people of my community. Because people, I know you hear it all the time. People say 2020 has not been kind. I can't wait until 2021. That is a lie. What's going to happen is if you don't deal with your mess in 2020, whatever your mess may be, it will carry over. It will carry over to 2021. We have got to start dealing with issues, even those issues that don't make us feel very comfortable.
Absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely. You said some key things. You said adapting and get uncomfortable. And like you said, a lot of people, they have a hard time with that. But it's kind of funny because, like you said, we have to be kind to one another because sometimes we can adapt and then you see another person might be lagging, like say, like for example, your spouse. So because you feel like you're a little ahead, you might look at them differently. And it's like, honey, you better come back to reality and realize it was a process for you. Nobody said that it was going to be easy. The journey is not easy. Life is a journey. So how dare you look at your spouse because you picked up your feet and you're looking at them like, hey, I don't know about you. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
So
you just preached the whole sermon.
Listen. But everybody want everything quick, because we live in the microwave age. And that's
and we're spoiled. We're spoiled as Americans. We are spoiled as human beings. And we have taken the riches that has been afforded to us for granted. We really, really have. And I'm just in a place where I'm ready to not be selfish anymore. How dare we have some of the answers? I don't have all of the answers, but just have some knowledge and we not spread the good news, the word, just as what you're doing on your podcast and on Instagram. I see what you're doing and you're helping people. And this is what it's about. We have to be so humble that we help people and get out of our own selves. We have to. It's about, we have to leave a legacy. And it can't be a legacy in a pattern of pain and grief, and there is no overcoming, there is no resilience. And fact of the matter is, by being pescatarian, how about this? You have to have some resiliency. You have to have some discipline.
Absolutely. And that's why you saying that, because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. In the beginning of the year, I went on a fast, and in that fast, I wanted to transition because I said, God, I really want to get with this meat. I really want to go on this journey. And I kid you not, when it was over, the fast was over, I had no desire for meat at all. No desire for cheese and none of that. And I was like, see, it was through your grace because I knew I needed your strength to do this. Now you said ask and it shall be given. And that's exactly what I did. And moving forward, I'm doing great. I don't miss none of that stuff. Listen, they have substitutes. So I learned to adapt to the substitute. Also, too, I'm very colorful in the kitchen. So I learned how to put the spices and the peppers and the onions and make it fun. And that's another thing, too, about the journey. You don't make your journey fun. A lot of people, like you said, are so hard on yourself. Stop being so hard. Laugh a little bit. Even if you messed up and you said, oh, I did that. Laugh it off. It's okay, because what a lot of people don't realize too, when you get mad and you have all these emotions going on inside, you wonder why your body is stressed. All those emotions is attacking your body because you're stressing. And that does something to your immune system.
Well, it does. I mean, like you said, first of all, we need to start praying for how God wants to use us, not what we think we need to be doing, because When we start touching stuff and putting our hands on things, we mess it up every time. That's the reason why I'm on husband number 2. Because see, the first time I thought I knew what was right, I thought I was God, little g. You know what I'm saying? And look how that worked out. So we have to just pray and ask for wisdom as to which way we need to flow. My whole thing is, I need God every single day to give me wisdom and the strength to do what I'm doing, because it ain't easy.
Whew.
Because I'm still dealing with the grief and the loss of my mom. Well, let me rephrase that, because she's not lost. I know exactly where she is.
Absolutely.
But because she's not here and I'm the only child, and you know, it's amazing how God can wake you up in certain situations. And I really hate that it took the death of my mom for me to really understand the importance of my relationship with Christ to get me through. Because I'm telling you, suicide was an option.
Wow.
And doing what I do from, 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 every single day, that's all I deal with. I deal with murders every single day. I deal with kids from elementary through high school talking about suicide. But you see, God puts things in a place where you can be used. And Kalima, although you are a pescatarian, you can help people just in that area. Even if people trying to go from eating normal American standard diet to vegan, but then that journey requires to maybe go from the American standard diet to being a pescatarian. You can help with that.
Absolutely.
Because that's pretty much your journey as well, to if they want to move on to being a vegan. It's, we are servants and we have a responsibility to people, and we have to get out of our own way. And I'm telling you, I didn't see this before my mom passed. I saw it, but I wasn't really invested, because again, December 8th, the world was perfect to me. December 9th at 10:40, my world also, I thought, it crumbled.
Right.
It crumbled. But I'm thanking God, and I thank God every single day for December the 9th, because it was the day that I stopped looking at myself. I stopped being so selfish,
Wow.
Because it's not about me. And I have a purpose. And within that purpose, I have to have resiliency. And I do understand that my resiliency does not come from anything that I physically can do. Doesn't come from me. It comes from my Heavenly Father.
Absolutely. Listen,
Realize that.
Ooh, girl, you're gonna have me in tears over here. Everything you said, it was just so heartfelt, and we are running out of time, but I do love what you said about stop being selfish. Guys, we are about to go into the new year. This is a new you. Like Mya said, if you do not tackle the issues now, you're going to have the same issues in 2021. Don't just think it's a new year and oh yeah, all of that, but what decision and what discipline are you willing to put in place? So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this message. Continue to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Lady K Chat Podcast. You can reach us on our website at www.ladykenterprisesinc.com. And Mya, if the people wanted to reach you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me a number of ways. I just started a new Instagram. It is Moving Through Grief 2020. That's my Instagram handle. And then they can also find me on Facebook, Mya Allen.
Thank you, Mya. I appreciate it. Everyone, you have a wonderful night.
Lady K.